Let's be real, trying to figure out a career in tech can feel like you're lost at sea. You've got all these buzzwords floating around: computer science, IT, data science, cybersecurity. What do they even mean? And what's the difference? Well, think of this as your compass. We're going to cut through the fog and chart a clear course through these fields so you can figure out where you want to go. Let's dive in.
So, here's our game plan. First, we'll talk about the people who actually build the tech versus the ones who make it run in the real world. Then, we'll jump into the world of data and how we squeeze value out of it. After that, we'll meet the digital guardians who protect it all. And to wrap up, we'll take a peek into the future to see what's coming next. Pretty straightforward, right?
All right, first up, the architects and the engineers. You can basically split the tech world right down the middle with this one. On one side, you have the folks who are dreaming up and creating the technology from scratch. And on the other side, you've got the pros who take that tech and actually implement and manage it for businesses.
And that really leads to the most important question you can ask yourself right now. Are you someone who wants to be in the lab, designing the engine, or are you the person who wants to be in the driver's seat, using that engine to win the race? Your answer pretty much tells you whether you lean more towards computer science or information technology.
So here's the breakdown. Computer science, or CS, is all about the theory. It's the why and how behind software. Think deep dives into algorithms, computation, and literally writing the code that creates new programs. IT, on the other hand, is all about the practice. It's about taking all that cool hardware and software and making it work for a company. Setting up the networks, managing the systems, and making sure everything runs smoothly and securely.
But what's really interesting is that both of these fields are totally dependent on one thing: networks. I mean, whether you're a CS genius building the next killer app or an IT wizard keeping a global company online, you're both dealing with how data moves from one place to another. You're just working on different ends of the problem.
And, this different focus leads to totally different jobs. If you go the computer science route, you might end up as a software developer, an AI specialist, or maybe even a game developer. You're creating things. But if you're on the IT path, you're looking at roles like network administrator, IT consultant, or cybersecurity analyst. You're managing and protecting things.
Okay, so let's shift gears and talk about data. Because these days, data is everything. It's the lifeblood of modern business. But just having a mountain of data is useless, right? You need people who can tame it, understand it, and actually turn it into something valuable. These are the data wranglers.
And it all starts with this concept of big data, which, surprise, isn't just about being, well, big. It's defined by these 5 V's. You've got volume, which is just the sheer amount of data. Velocity, how fast it's coming in. Variety, meaning it's not just text, but images, videos, you name it. Veracity, which is about how trustworthy the data is. And the most important one, value. Can you actually do something useful with it?
So you've got this messy pile of big data. Now what? Well, that's where data analytics comes in. Analytics is basically the art of digging through that data to answer specific questions. It's about finding patterns and insights to help a business figure out what's going on and make smarter decisions based on what's already happened.
But then you have data science. And this is where things get predictive. Data science is way broader. It's not just looking at the past. It's using all sorts of complex algorithms and scientific methods to build models that can predict the future. It's less about answering known questions and more about discovering the questions you should have been asking all along.
This chart just nails the difference. Here's a good way to think about it. Big data is like a giant untapped oil field. Data analytics is the crew that drills and refines that oil into gasoline, a useful known product. Data science? That's the R&D team that's trying to invent a whole new kind of fuel from that oil that will power rockets. See the difference?
And the person keeping this whole data universe from collapsing? That's the database administrator, or DBA. They are the unsung heroes who manage the actual databases where all this priceless information lives. They make sure it's secure, always available, and running at top speed for the analysts and scientists who need it.
Okay, so you have this incredibly valuable data and this complex system running it all. You can bet there are people who want to break in. So you absolutely need guardians. But it's not just about building walls. You also need people to test those walls. Let's look at the two sides of the security coin: defense and offense.
First up is cybersecurity. This is the big picture. It's all about defense. These are the people building the digital fortress. They're setting up firewalls, encrypting data, monitoring for suspicious activity, and basically doing everything they can to prevent an attack from ever succeeding. Their job is to be the shield.
But then you have ethical hacking. And this is cool. These are the good guys who are paid to think like the bad guys. Their whole job is to attack the system, with permission, of course, to find the weak spots. They are stress testing the fortress to find the cracks in the walls before the real enemy does.
So it all boils down to the approach. Cybersecurity is defensive. It asks, how do we stop them? Ethical hacking is offensive. It asks, how would I get in? You absolutely need both. One builds the defenses, and the other makes sure those defenses actually work. So we've looked at the builders, the data wranglers, and the guardians. But tech never, ever sits still. So what's next? What's just over the horizon that's going to change the game all over again?
Well, for 2026 and beyond, keep your eyes on these 6 things. Low code is completely changing how we build software, making it faster and easier. AI is literally starting to write code for us, which is a massive productivity boost. Edge computing is putting processing power right where the data is, making things lightning fast. And then you have the really big ones like the quantum revolution, which could solve problems we currently think are impossible. So wild time to be in tech. And just in case you think these are small trends, take a look at low code. The market is expected to be worth a mind-blowing $187 billion by 2030. That's not an ish, that's a fundamental change in how the digital world gets built.
So here's the bottom line. It doesn't really matter which of these paths excites you the most. Whether you want to get into the deep theory of CS, the hands-on action of IT, the puzzle of data, or the battle of cybersecurity, you're making a good choice. The opportunities in all of these fields are absolutely massive.
So as we finish up, the question for you isn't just about picking a job title. It's about figuring out who you are. Are you a builder who wants to create things from nothing? An analyst who loves to uncover hidden truths? A defender who's driven to protect? Or maybe you're a pioneer, ready to explore what's next? The map's laid out. Now you just have to choose your adventure.